Shut up!
Born by freedom won, yet held in precarious station. Set upon defense and sealed his will to guard and protect his new nation. So he resolved to find of all who would challenge his right to be free. With a swift-sailing vessel and 10 carriage guns to hug the world's oceans and seas. Born to go into harm's way, come all ye hell or high waters be damned. No lightning, no thunder, nor hurricane gale can stand in the face of his wrath. Beneath his enemy's sleep, like cloud where their gaze cannot go. The tide they rise, every last man shall shake to the core of his soul.
Assigned to us for submerged operation by Opscad 48 Tech 18. Department of myself. Sending us 1385 fathoms beneath the keel and checks with chart. I am verifying that my water team is re-interred inside the ship. I intend to submit the ship to one out of my fleet.
I fuck. And now I'm lying. See, this is the happy horse shit that it does to me. Because I think it's still going. I don't know. Maybe it's over. Jesus Christ. Boom, bitches. I probably just blew somebody's speaker out of their door, out of their cheap little Mazda 6 that was listening to the show. Look, it's Cash Jackson. This is the War is Hell podcast. I am your host, my producer, CJ. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking Abernathy. Without the G, mind you. Fucking. There's no G there. He's a cool dude, man. Yeah. I see 5 people dropped off. They're like, oh shit, my kids aren't in bed yet. Yeah, they ought to know by now. Anybody that puts on this show, you get fair warning. We've got all kinds of disclaimers. This is not for kids. This is shop talk. It's adult talk. And we're going to delve into issues and problems that we're all facing and dealing with as working men and women in this country. What I refer to, of course, is the serfs of this nation. We are the working class men and women that bear the brunt of the bullshit of government and how it's overly intrusive into every single aspect of our lives. There's no part of your life that is not touched by government. It has grown into such epic proportions. Here we have, and it's the talk of the town. No shit. So of course I'm going to talk about it. I'm just going to do it a little bit later because, well, you know, I like to kind of watch and listen and see what all comes out. And doesn't take long, of course. 5,000 page something bill getting rammed through Congress. Our COVID relief bill, $600. Woo! You guys are number one. Fucking jackwagons. $600, dude. You should be insulted. If you're not insulted, you're a pansy. You are. And your family lineage is pansies. You're probably the 97% of people that during the Revolutionary War sat back and watched as other good men fought the fucking battle for you, right? And you just capitalized on their death and their carnage. You and your leech pansy family. It's unreal, man. What it takes for people to actually get offended by what government's doing to them, the things that we will actually allow ourselves to endure and not really bat an eyelash. We're just like, yeah, you know what? My neighbor John does it. He says it's a bitch, but yeah, I guess I can do this too. And we all just kind of get in line and we take our licks, the working man and woman. We just get in there and, you know, get wrapped about the freaking head with the maple stick. You know, get your asses in line, produce for the state, right? You're sold this, you, the working man and woman, are sold this American dream, this pipe dream of get your 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, have a little boy, have a little girl, get the golden retriever and a white picket fence, right? We're all sold that bullshit. But the system is designed for relationships to not even work. They're designed that way. There's a tremendous windfall of resources. No fucking secret here, right? Like with this COVID stuff, it all relates. That's why I can interchange how these relate all day long. How the transgressions of the family law court system is representative of all of government in the United States and abroad that seeks to control men's behaviors and their set of moralities with some sort of domestic policy supported by only a minority of the populace. Because if all the independents that abstain from fucking voting, all of those who have long given up on the election system, and then the opposing party, collectively, that's like, I don't know, 70% of people that don't identify with the ideology that's passing the domestic policy during that time frame. And and it comes and goes. It goes red to blue, blue to red, red to blue, blue to red. Some of them are strongholds like Chicago, San Francisco, Baltimore. These are strongholds of Democrats that infiltrate strength and power from the public pension systems that they use to leverage working men's desire to provide for their families against their own best interest, ultimately shooting themselves in the fucking foot. Most of the working men and women I know that are in unions are more libertarian, slightly right-leaning conservative, right? Working class people. That's just my experience. I'm not saying that there's any studies to that. I'm just saying that's my experience. But they're, you know, they're middle-class men and women, but what they fail to realize is, well, with as much as their unions control politicians by way of your union dues going into political candidates' pockets, you're in fact hiring your next boss and thereby controlling your next boss. That gets you guys more pay raises, better pensions, and in states like Illinois, it's to the detriment of the rest of the state, right? It's to the detriment of the rest of the state. You're fucking, you're going to be passing on this debt to your children, right? And your grandchildren. And they're going to pay some ridiculous sums of money in property taxes and income tax and every other kind of tax to fund for this shit. The American people have been so fucking asleep at the wheel that that's how we've gotten to this point, right? Those of us wrapped up in family law have known this shit was coming for a long time. And some people out there, they're going, I'm going to tell you something some of them are saying and thinking. They're going, welcome to my world, motherfucker. We've been here. No money, not seeing our family, right? You're separated from loved ones due to quarantines. You can't travel. Right, you got your elderly locked up, and you can't go and see them or visit them. Welcome to the world of a non-custodial parent in America. No fucking money, out of work, losing everything, right? Losing your home, losing all your benefits, losing your job, getting locked up for dumb shit. Welcome to the world of the non-custodial parent, right? Non-custodial parents in this fucking nation have been living now for decades what many Americans are living today in a similar form of oppression, where government makes a choice to exercise its authority in the best interest of society. And in turn, what they do is they destroy, I don't know, how many businesses? Half a million? Did I hear that? I think that was the number that I heard. 500,000 businesses, was it? Shut down. I don't know if that was correct or not. But what I do know is in town after town after town after town that I go to, large cities as well, got them liquor stores kicking, baby. Right? They've got, you know, everything under the sun open, but not the things that would support the working men and women out there, right? The small businesses, all of these small businesses getting closed and shut down, and we're just sitting back and letting it happen, America. Because we accepted for so many years, we accepted that it's fine to take a father's children from him, right? And not fucking bat an eyelash. Nobody bats an eyelash in this country at a parent. And I use fathers all the time. Doesn't make me anti-woman, right? And I kind of give that disclaimer each and every time with the knowledge that I've probably got new listeners or somebody who's never heard me talk before. So I feel an obligation to let them know that. But it's predominantly fathers. There's no arguing those numbers, right? 85% of us getting pushed out of our kids' lives and bankrupted in the process, being expected to bear 100% of the burden, financial burden of our homes, 100%. Okay. The financial burden on this home, right? The mortgage, it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. Nothing. It's just a modest American home. Nothing super fancy. Okay. It's a beautiful home. Don't get me wrong. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. And guess what? I've got a fucking full mortgage here I have to pay. All these utilities, these are for, if my kids were here, right? Utilities ain't free. But guess what? You're going to have them regardless. That's a bill you have regardless, folks. And kids don't use up that much more, right? They don't. And child support, consequently, is based upon amount of overnights exercised, which is extremely strange because, like in my case, where I picked my kids up 3 days out of the week and was spending money on them, running them to and from their activities, taking them out to dinner, right? Whatever. I was spending money on them, and I love that. I enjoyed that. But my expenses increased during the daytime when I had them, and they decreased at nighttime when I didn't, right? Or when I had them, but they were in bed. They're in fucking bed. You're not spending any money on them. So why does the amount of child support revolve around the amount of overnights when the child's sleeping and you're not spending money on the child? But if you have them during the day, like I did, 12, 15 days out of the month, you had those added expenses, but that didn't count. That doesn't register with me. That doesn't make any sense. Right? But this is the kind of bullshit that the non-custodial parents have fucking lived for decades. And now you're all getting a slice of the big shit sandwich we've been swallowing. We've been getting force fed for fucking decades. I myself am still somewhat of a junior league in this, right? I've only been in this bullshit hell for 4 years, but it's like 4 fucking combat tours, right? Of fucking destruction. Right. I mean, if say you were in the Army, right? And you could get mail, or the Air Force, the Marines, and you could get mail, and you're in the military, you would get fucking letters from your kids, right? Typically, you would get letters from your children, be able to hear their voices on the phone, might be able to make a phone call home. When you're non-custodial like me, like, my buddy over here, right? Like my executive producer, when you're like us, you don't get anything. No phone calls, you get nothing, and nobody fucking cares. And then there's this whole crowd of people out there judging me for how I'm handling my business right now, the way I'm vocalizing myself. There's this whole crowd of people within the family law reform movement who have their noses stuck up in the fucking air at me. They don't want to say anything to me because they don't appreciate that I'm expressing my sentiments and what everybody's fucking thinking. Everybody wants to say, but everybody's too goddamn afraid to say it because they don't want to offend somebody. They don't want the judge to take their kids. Everybody tiptoes around what needs to be fucking said. And these people they're tyrants, right? They're tyrants, and they should be tarred and fucking feathered. They should be. Every last one of them should be tarred and feathered because these were deprivations of rights under color of law. The state at no time ever had a compelling interest in your case unless those children were in immediate danger, some imminent harm where the government had to swoop in and save the child. That's it. That's it, folks. Do you understand that? The state does not have a compelling interest in your private matter case between one private party and another private party. It's fucking bullshit. They overreach their bounds, and some hack with a black robe on, some fucking hack family law attorney that don't know shit from Cheyenne, doesn't know your kids' middle names, doesn't even know what hand your child writes with, doesn't know their favorite food or their allergies. They don't know a fucking thing about them, and they're going to tell you what's in the best interest of your kids, and you're going to fucking sit there and allow it? You're going to just keep eating that sandwich every day? You're going to keep telling other people the best way to eat that shit sandwich? Fuck that shit sandwich, man. Why are we doing it? Why are we telling people this is the best way to eat the shit sandwich? Fuck them, man. It's immoral. It's inhumane. We should make no apologies for what we're saying about this. Fuck these people. They go home and they smile and they laugh. They rub it in our face. They rub it in your face, folks. You work so hard. You put together all these data, these statistics. You get these people together with these really heart-wrenching stories of losing access to their kids and what it's done to their family and their sons and daughters committing suicide. And you take all of that before these fucking people that we've elected, and they take all of it, and half of them are probably family law attorneys sitting there on the committee deciding what's in their community's best interest. And you just sit there and fucking take it, and you're afraid of them. And people just don't want to say what should be said. If we would all just collectively say what the fuck needed to be said at one fucking time, we could get it done and over with. So quit dancing around the topic. They're kidnapping our children for fucking money. They're overstepping their constitutional authority. I'm telling you that. I don't give a shit that I'm not an attorney. You don't have to be a fucking attorney to know it's inhumane to take a child from a loving parent that you have not found to be unfit. And most states have a similar statute that you have to have a finding of unfitness, and they don't do that to you, do they? No. They arbitrarily restrict your time. And you don't understand why. And the best that they can give you is the judge hiding behind this because it's in the best interest of the child, sir. Stop fucking eating the sandwich. John, Mike, right? Brandon, stop eating the shit fucking sandwich. You don't have to anymore. I'm telling you. I'm giving you permission, right? Man to man, father to father, right? Veteran to veteran. Let me tell you, you don't have to eat the shit sandwich any longer, right? Because I'm not eating it. I'm not taking none of that shit sandwich no more. And I haven't been. They won't let me see my kids because I will not shut the fuck up. And what should I do? What's my answer? FBI won't do shit. Secret Service won't do shit. Right? None of them. None of them. They're all in on the take. And the working men and women, I'm not against our law enforcement at all. Don't get me, I hope people don't confuse me here. I'm not against our law enforcement. I love law enforcement. I've got wonderful friends that are in law enforcement. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize their policies and their practices. No differently than I do with the military. Somehow it's taboo to scrutinize our police or our judges or anyone else. Why is it taboo to scrutinize these people and what they're doing and whether or not it's best for society or if it's clearly overstepping constitutional authority and it's a money-driven machine? And that's what it amounts to. And a lot of them are just all too willing to jump on board with that and go, yeah, I like terrorizing people. This shit's going to be fun. You've got some fucking psychopaths running around with badges and guns. You do. Just as you have some psychopaths sitting on these benches in black robes. They're sadistic. They're sadist. They do this shit and they laugh about it. They find it funny. They'll go, oh, these are just the dads that don't want to pay child support. You're in there fighting tooth and nail. You're in there crying in front of the bench, pouring your fucking heart out, swallowing your pride. You know, you think a grown-ass man wants to stand up in front of a crowd of people and fucking cry? How demeaning, demoralizing, and humiliating. How much lower could you drive a man to demoralize him to nearly being on his knees and breaking down and crying in a public fucking court because you're bankrupting him and he misses his kids and you won't enforce those fucking court orders? You won't even give him a slap on the fucking hand, judge. Right? And we want to apologize to these people. We want to dance around with these people and be professional. They're professional murderers, folks. They are professionals at driving people to killing themselves because they destroy them and they allow it to happen. Not only do they allow it to happen, but they are the orchestrators of the chaos. They allow the attorneys to sprinkle so much chaos upon your life and your family. These fucking judges do. And in many states like Illinois, they are appointed. They're not even elected. You don't even get a choice in the piece of shit that's sent up there to tell you you can't see your kids. It's in the best interest of your children to not see you or have a relationship for you for 2 years, even though we've never, Mr. Jackson, found you to be unfit. We have never, Mr. Jackson, found you to be an endangerment. Furthermore, Mr. Jackson, we recognize by the court record that you conducted a federal removal of your case in March of 2018. And in the same month, Judge Salvi orders your case reopened before it was remanded back from federal court and oversteps his legal authority and severs contact with your daughter. Right? We recognize that, but they don't. And it's so fucking plain, and I've already showed it to them. Which tells me they don't give a shit about the crime that's occurring. They don't care about me as a 20-year Navy veteran. They don't give a shit about that Constitution. And if they don't give a shit about that Constitution, then who the fuck's supposed to do it? Who does it, folks? Right? We're all standing around with our hands on our hips, looking at one another going, yep, so I don't know if it's going to be me, man. I don't, fuck, I want to keep my Second Amendment. Don't fuck with my Second Amendment. All right, boys, hey, we're going to have to step up here. We've got some constitutional violations going on right before our very eyes. Anybody else see this? Yeah, lots of hands. Everybody else sees it. Okay, we got them up. Hands are up. Leave them up. Who's going to step forward? Leave them up and step forward. Who's going to step forward? We're going to do what needs to get done. Anybody? Where the fuck are you? Right? Where are you? Are you hiding behind your kids? Who are you hiding behind? Your job? Right? How much more are we going to sell? How many more of our rights are we going to sell up the river to these bastards before we decide enough's enough? That's what I want to know. How many more of your children's rights, how much more of your labor and your time away from your family are you willing to break your back as a working man, serf in this country for the ruling fucking class who says at any point in time, if you don't pay the taxes we tell you to, we have the legal authority to take your property from you. A man's labor is his own. How much a man invests in himself and his family is his own, and he has a natural right to keep 100% of that. It doesn't matter how moral you believe your policy to be and who it's going to help. If you're taking that money under threat of force, and that's exactly what you're doing when you use government, when you use the IRS, when you use fucking tax collectors, when you use assessors, and you tell people, you will pay us, the government, X amount of dollars on your property that you're breaking your back for. If you improve your property, you will first get permission from the government to improve the property. You will pay for that permission to improve your property. Then after you do that, we're going to come back along after you've made the improvements. We're going to reassess your home. We're going to give you a higher tax burden than what you had previously. We're going to punish the improvement that you just made by taking away the joy of that improvement, by having to give government more of your hard-earned resources. And you swallow that shit sandwich. How fucking dare you? And how dare you keep fucking perpetuating the cycle on down to the next generation? All right? Your income tax, do you think that it's necessary? Like we couldn't figure out how to make this country work without it? You don't think we could do it? I don't know. On a sales tax, on a morally agreed upon transaction, right? I'm willing to pay the higher tax on the Aquafina so you don't threaten to take my home from me. Does that make sense? Right? How many of our elderly are falling in these probate courts, getting assigned guardian ad litems? And these people that were very successful, these families that were extremely successful, fall prey to another line of the judicial system. That it's not good enough that they take our children from us, but then they'll also take our grandparents from us and our parents from us. They'll make them wards of the state. They'll assign them guardian ad litems. They'll lock up all of your family's assets in litigation, and they will slowly but surely bleed you dry. which means that they bled dry every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears that your father or your grandfather or your mother or your grandmother put into building up those resources for their future generations in their lineage, in their family line. That was their natural right to what they fucking worked and sacrificed for, to turn that shit over, if they wanted to their children and their grandchildren or whomever, to ensure that they would have a better way of life, that they would have a little bit of a more of a leg up, right? Passing on their hard work, their sacrifice, trying to pass that on to the next generation to try and give them a little bit of a leg up. And these bastards will take every single penny from them, right? And from you. And they're telling you, and they're selling to you that it's in your kid's best interest, and you're not buying it. No, you're not. You're fucking breaking down crying, right? You're reaching out to your family, your mom, your dad, you're calling your parents. They don't understand. They don't know how to help you. Surely they see they're naive. They've been together 40, 50 years. They're naive. Right? Surely it can't be this bad. Surely it should just be a quick fix or some misunderstanding here. We'll get this worked out real quick, and everybody can kind of get on their way, and we'll get past all these emotions, and that'll be it. And it's not. It's not. It drags on day after day after day, year after year. And they just, in the days and the weeks and the months and the years just begin to tally up and take a fucking toll on you. Right? Because being deprived access to your children when you haven't done anything wrong to warrant this type of treatment. This is a criminal fucking treatment, folks. This is torture, right? This is sanctioned torture by the federal government, financed by the federal government. The state governments are profiting and propping up a larger state and domestic government for the collections of child support. The entire industry of issuing warrants for fathers behind on child support. All day long, talking to a friend of mine, police officer today, he says to me, yeah, Cash, I arrested a bunch of guys, even buddy. I had to take in buddies of mine that were behind on child support warrants. Because if I didn't, then I lose my job. Then I lose my benefits. Then I can't feed my kids. If I don't take my friend in on a back child support warrant, how fucked up is that? And he knows his friend. He knows his friend's trying. He knows his friend's being kept from, his children, or had been. This was some time ago. But he still took these guys in. Why? Because, and I want to illustrate something. A man's offspring is so fucking important to him and their welfare, they will violate another man's rights. Okay? They will. They will. If this country goes to a shit sandwich, right? Non-custodial style, like we've been getting in January. And I told you guys this. You can go back on my Facebook. I posted it up back in October or so. I'm pretty certain I've predicted this pretty damn close as to exactly how this was going to roll out. And it's still steamrolling right down the path that I fucking had said and I talked about on a feed. It's steamrolling right along that direction. Just like I said, they're going to find enough material to warrant saying that this election was tampered with in a significant way. Not a little way, in a significant way. They're going to do that. Trump ain't stepping out of fucking office, folks. And what are you going to do when this country rips to shit? Because the left, that's going to go up. Trump don't step out of office, it's going off. And I'll tell you what, watching how the right's mobilizing, right? It's not going to be pretty. Okay. And many of us, we're over in the middle. Those of us in the middle, as always, we're on the fucking losing end of the stick here. Why? Because we're not talking amongst ourselves. We're not communicating, right? The middle here. Those who have taken the golden pill. Those who say, yep, Republicans are in on the fix too. No. Watch how many sign on to that fucking 5,000 page document. Watch how many Republicans sign that. Your measure of truth, none of them should sign that. None of them should sign that. It's a fucking insult to Americans to be getting $600. They want to offer you $600 and they want to send billions and billions of dollars overseas or to private corporations, the corporate welfare. Those of us in the middle, okay, wear flannel, we got facial hair, we're veterans. Not all of us are fucking far right people. We don't like corporate welfare either. We don't like it. Right? Because James, the mechanic down the street, he don't get that corporate bailout. He doesn't get it. We care about the working men and women. Quit kidding yourself. The Republican Party is in on the fix too. I'm not saying you don't have some good legislators out there doing some good work. But collectively, it's a bucket of fuck. The whole thing, right? It's a big bucket of fuck. The whole shit and shebang. Don't tell me it ain't. You know that it is. You heard me say it. Call your legislator and you tell them, don't sign that shit. Don't sign it. Don't sign it. When are we going to have common sense bills here that doesn't have all this other bullshit thrown in it? Furthermore, how in the world can we justify these billions of dollars in foreign aid with the amount of debt this country is in already? Because they're buying favor somewhere for some purpose. And I think a lot of it is nefarious. With the amount of shit we've seen out of government, how could you ever think that they're spending this money fucking wisely or that they would spend any more money any more wisely? Tom Cotton, Republican, has literally proposed a slavery bill, folks. And everybody's just tooling along. They're like, yeah, that sounds great, Tom. Yeah, make those deadbeat dads mandatory work programs. Yeah. You got some fucking trailer park single mom out there hopped up on fucking welfare, getting all kinds of different monies coming in, pouring into her single wide trailer while their baby's running around with his diaper dragging on the carpet because it hasn't been changed in 3 days. Cheering on Tom Cotton for going after those deadbeat dads. Jesus. Folks, wake up. Wake up. I mean, just be real about things for a moment. It's okay to do some internal reflection and go, yeah, I was wrong here. I've had to say I was wrong more times over these last 6 years or so than I ever thought possible. I'm like, man, I was wrong a lot. I fucked that up. I fucked that up. That was wrong. That was wrong. You know, you make a lot of mistakes. And it's time to start owning up to those mistakes. We're past time, right? I got a guy sitting over here across from me. He was in the Army for how long?
23 years.
23 years. So, I'm just gonna call him Mr. X. Mr. X was in the Army for 23 years. Mr. X, you're gonna have to say it kind of loud so people can hear you. How long has it been since you've seen your kids?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, this guy. Now he's at my house right now. And I'm not gonna have him on the air for a reason. You'll know that reason when I'm ready to tell you. 3.5 years, this guy hasn't seen his kids. You want to talk about your fucking problems with COVID? You don't have no problem. Shut your ass up. You ain't got no problem. Because it wasn't no big deal when Mr. X wasn't seeing his kid for 3.5 fucking years. And it still ain't a big deal. Right? To most out there, it's a big deal to men like me. It's been 2.5 years since I seen my daughter, 2 years since I seen my son. Right? parental alienation is real. It's a defense mechanism from a child identifying with an aggressive parent that's victimizing another parent and using children as weapons to do it. Right? We're not withholding children from anybody. We're not keeping children from anybody. We're not denying phone contact, email, Skypes, letters, gifts. We're not denying any of that. How can you work out something with a completely unreasonable person? And the system entrusted to do something about it, the judicial system, just lets it go on and on and on and on and on and on. And we're reasonable people, reasonable men. Most men I know would gladly pay the child support. Just let me see my kids. Just let me see them. Just let me spend time with my kids. Leave me the fuck alone. Here's your money. Leave me alone. Ben, why? In a society, we haven't questioned that for decades. We haven't questioned why men are forced out of the picture. We haven't questioned this. 20 million plus children growing up absent their biological father. 20 fucking million. There's over 400,000 missing kids in the United States, and nobody's talking about that, folks. The number's out there. Go pull it up. Do I need to pull it up for you? Or can you be an adult today and go verify what Cash Jackson fucking told you, that there's probably closer to 500,000 missing children in America? It's not on the 5 o'clock news. It's not on CBS. Nobody's talking about it, right? But we're sending hundreds of millions of dollars to fucking Sudan, right? We'll go save Sudan's starving children, but fuck all of our kids in human trafficking rings. Yep, don't worry about those kids. Three and a half years this man ain't sent it. 23 years he's in the Army. And that'll piss you off, right? And that's what pisses me off. And that's what gets me fired up. I get fired up that you don't give a shit enough about this guy or his kids or his family to do more than just say, I'm sorry, that sucks. That's all you got. Honestly, that's all you've got. I'm sorry, that sucks. I'll pray for you. Fuck you and your sentiments. How about you be an American and step your ass up and actually do something to help somebody? You know what I mean? You got it rough. Okay. Yeah. Lots of us do. We got it rough. I spend a significant amount of my time helping people. A lot. More so than I should. And I overextend myself. And I think that I can do more than I can. Especially as it comes to physical labor, right? My body's breaking down rapidly. And that's a product of age. Which is a sad fucking reminder that it's going to hurt a lot more when and if I ever get to play another football game with my son, right? Right? Or chase my daughter on the playground. You know what I mean? And we're waking up with all of these ailments, realizing we're getting older. My neck is a back. It's a bag of smashed ass. The whole neck is like perma-fucked. Right? But according to Judge Salvi, I look fine. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Judge Salvi. Thank you. Man, you're almost like that Navy SEAL who's also an astronaut and a doctor, right, Judge Salvi? You're like that accomplished. You've got like X-ray vision. You're like a super shitbird. These people are tyrants, folks. These judges are tyrants. These legislators are tyrants, right? Many inside our policing agencies are tyrants, and they are run fucking amok. They are run amok. And there's people that ain't going to take it no more. They're marching in the streets. They're going in the streets. Look at this douche canoe. You want to see what a douche canoe looks like? Right? Show this spineless shitbird right here. There he is. There he is. Look at that guy. Look, he wouldn't take anybody's rights. He's a Catholic. He goes to mass. He's on first name basis with the bishop. What was that issue the Catholic Church had with molesting children and trafficking kids? And then there's like some strange coincidence too that my ex-wife's attorney protects fucking pedophiles, right? in his practice. His attorney practice? Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah. And my ex hired him. And she's the Bible thumping Christian, right? The hardcore, Christian, right? That's my ex-wife, right? She like, the left should really hate her, because, she'll talk down on gays and, the LGBT community, she, her nose is like way up here, right? What the fuck I was thinking? Like, I thought I was like marrying up in like a different class than I was, like economic class, right? Because I came from the impoverished class, right? I came from down here, right? The real working class, that's where I came from. She, very well educated, summa cum laude at Mizzou, right? Occupational therapist. She, was pretty close to having a doctorate, right, with that program. Her dad went to Carnegie Mellon, electrical engineer. Mom went to college, majored in French. Grandfather was like, I don't remember what he did. Her brother's he's a super geek, right? He kind of looks like one of those fucking, like, I don't know, space cadet dudes. I don't know, carrot top, whatever. He's weird. Yeah, I think he's one of my cyber stalkers, actually. But this guy's Stephen Patton, right? You ever seen him? He's in Tennessee somewhere. Large fellow, husky, eats a lot of donuts, right? He looks like the stereotypical guy that sits behind a computer all fucking day and drags and trolls people like me. It's not my fault your old lady slept around on you, bro. All right. Matter of fact, I've seen your kid, and I don't think, I honestly, you might want to get a DNA test done. Because if and when she ever leaves you, you're going to be paying child support on the kids. It might not be yours. I'm just saying, old ex-brother-in-law guy. Throwing that out there. Hope you guys like that. Chilling that shit sandwich tonight. What else we got? What's this? What is that? It's a news release. That's not Salvi. That's Slavin. That is not Salvi. I'm like reading that news release. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, you're bad. Hold on. I done bumped my mic. I bumped my cords. Mm-hmm. They all do think they're above the law. Yeah. Well, and we've allowed them to get to that point. We let them get to that juncture. What do you got there? Is that the one? Point of contact here. There you go. Charles Smith. Yeah, I've not heard good things about that guy. I've never been in front of him. Oh, I think take that back. I think I might have had to go in front of him one time whenever Salvi was out sucking off whatever politician he had to. These people are not above criticism, right? And when they reach to such an egregious level, okay, all right, we got a news release here. He's pointing at November 10th, 2020. All right, so this is kind of recent. The 19th Judicial Circuit is pleased to honor. Oh, Jesus Christ! How did we miss this? Pleased to honor veterans virtually for our 9th annual Veterans History Project due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Co-chaired by Judges Gerald W. Smith and Elizabeth, evolved into a virtual recap of past. So they did it. It evolved into a virtual. No, that sounds like it devolved. You went from you're going to have veterans online to you couldn't get veterans online, so you had to do a virtual recap of the one before, and a recognition of local veterans. Here's what we need to have: a recognition of all the local veterans you fucked over, Lake County. Oh, look, see, this is the shit that makes me sick, right? That's the stuff that should really piss you off. I want that shit taken down. I'm not even fucking around here. Like, we're going to go, okay, tomorrow I'm calling them. I want all that shit taken down because I'm seriously offended.
Of the United States of America,
I'm offended by
and to the republic for
what
which
you do
it
to it.
stands, one nation,
And
under
these
God,
little kids.
indivisible, with liberty and
And the
justice for all.
courthouse and the government will portray itself as being, supportive.
In the pledge.
No,
of
you're
allegiance
not.
flag by Lake County's Young Marines seems precisely the right start to our 2020 Veterans Day celebration, as it provides us with hope and inspiration for our future
These
as we
motherfuckers.
celebrate our past. Hello, I'm Mark Levitt, Deputy Chief Judge of Lake County's 19th Judicial Circuit, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be with you today as we gather virtually to proudly honor our veterans. Due to the COVID pandemic and with public health and safety as our highest priority, we're disappointed that we're unable to host veterans and their families at our courthouse this year.
Pause
Our
that.
commitment to celebration.
Pause that. Due to the health and safety and for the safety of our veterans, except for me, folks, except for me, because Judge Christensen, who is the current judge, Salvi was the former shitbird that illegally severed contact with my kids. Christensen is the current shitbird that continues to violate my rights, but they order me to appear in person. You just heard this judge, and he's the chief. That's the chief judge, right? He's the chief justice. I want to verify that. Or deputy chief judge. So I think he's almost the top judge, right? Is he like number 2, I guess? Like we're supposed to know what the fuck deputy chief judge is. They got to give themselves all these different. Yeah. As they sit up there and they condone those below them doing it. It's a fucking charade. Right? And the best part, look, I'm trying to fully embrace. I don't want to be just all doom and gloom. I'm trying to fully embrace this lifestyle that they've rendered upon me, right? Because they have decided that I can't be a dad to my kids. They decided that, not me. I have fought tooth and nail to be a father to my kids. Like many other parents, I fought tooth and fucking nail, and we're left with this choice. What do we do with our lives? Do we just wake up and keep dying a little more every day, or do we actually just live out the last of our days and just go all in? Fuck it. We don't want to live. Why do you want to sit home? Why do you want to just sit at home, right? Gouging your eyeballs out with your thumbs because you can't stop crying. You can't stop thinking about your children. You can't stop perseverating on the injustice fucking heaped upon you, and you're dying every single day. Face it, we all are. But you're dying at 10 times the rate because your soul is being assassinated. And they're doing it intentionally. We have to start saying these things for what they are. It's on purpose. These are not accidental or anecdotal stories. They are fucking us over for a reason. I don't know what sick, sadistic reason that is, but I would love to find out, wouldn't you? Don't you want to know why they think it's okay to keep your kids from you for years at a time and bankrupt you and throw you into debtors' prisons and they find it funny? Don't you want to know why? I do. I'm tired of the bullshit. Right? I'm tired of the bullshit. And if you're not fucking fed up, I don't know what it takes for people. Like, honestly, what does it take for you to get involved? If we spent our resources instead of dumping $6,000, $7,000 into these attorneys, we invested into ourselves, right? We start helping people prevent themselves from going into these systems to begin with, we'll stop this stuff, right? And when we haul these tyrants off, right, and they crawl through the streets covered in tar and shitty chicken feathers, right, eating a shit sandwich right down Main Street, right? That's what's coming. That's what they have brought upon themselves. And I'm just hanging out. Just going to watch it go. All right? I'm not going to get involved because you know what? the world will pay the dividends owed. And that's how the universe works. So maybe if I'm eating this shit sandwich, it's because I earned it. And I was a really fucked up person, or I just inherited so many bad genes from my former bloodline that maybe there's just a large penance to be paid by my entire lineage. I don't know. Maybe me and all of my kin are damned because our ancestors were such fucking hellions. I don't rightly know. What I do know is that none of what's happening during this COVID crisis with this spending bill, it's all tied to the same racketeering bullshit. It is exploit the workers, exploit the working class. They don't give a damn that you check a blue mark or a red mark, right? They don't give a damn that you're a Republican or Democrat. They don't care. They just care that you're one of them. They don't care which one. They just care that you're one of them. Because then you basically have to toe the line with everybody else, or you get shamed for actually having a mind of your own. God forbid you were to question somebody in the chain, in the food chain up above you, who's been there longer, who had deeper pockets, that paid their way up the fucking ladder. God forbid you called one of them out and said, "Hey, you Harvard graduated prick. I'm not real fond of fucking mandatory work programs. What I am fond of is mandatory fucking equal custody programs for parents that have never been found to be unfit and want 50-50 custody." Right? How about that? How about we don't need the child support programs anymore? How about we could completely change the entire nation in the fundamental landscape of the state encroaching upon natural liberties further than it should? CJ's trying to get me to something. I don't know what. And he's rubbing his eyes in his face. What are you trying to get me to? You want to click on that asshole?
Precisely with regard to our 2020 Veterans Day celebration, as it provides us with hope and inspiration for our future as we celebrate our past. Hello, I'm Mark Levitt, Deputy Chief Judge of Lake County's 19th Judicial Circuit, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be with you today as we gather virtually to proudly honor our veterans. Due to the COVID pandemic and with public health and safety as our highest priority, we're disappointed that we're unable to host veterans and their families at our courthouse this year, but our commitment to the celebration remains undeterred. Retired Judge Margaret Mullen will join us to share a historical perspective on Veterans Day and the Veterans Day History Project.
You may know that Veterans Day was created in 1938 as Armistice Day to mark the end of fighting in World War I on November 11, 1918. But did you know that after World War II, the greatest mobilization of armed forces in history, President Eisenhower proclaimed the day Veterans Day in 1954. Today, we remember our deceased veterans, but we also thank and honor all living veterans, both in the past and those currently serving, especially those in harm's way. Congress created the Veterans History Project in 2000 so that the voices of the men and women who served this country would not be lost, and to preserve for our nation your unique military experience. Here in Lake County, we've celebrated this event for 9 years, and that is a testament to this special place, to our wonderful judges, especially our military veteran judges, to the generous court reporters who professionally record and transcribe your stories so that they can be properly enshrined in the Library of Congress, to the lawyers whose talents guide the interview, and to every community organization that brings together all of you and those who came before you to tell your story of service and sacrifice to our nation. The generations of the future need to hear what you have to say. I'm retired Judge Margaret Mullen. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you for your service.
Retired Judge and former Navy reservist Michael Foos will now provide his personal observations about the modesty our veteran heroes often demonstrate in sharing their personal journeys in service.
It's been my honor and privilege to have served on the Veterans History Project here in Lake County for the last 8 years, beginning in 2012. And I wanted to talk just a few minutes about how that experience has impacted me. Growing up in Chicago, in the Chicago area in the 50s and 60s, it wasn't unusual for myself, my friends, to have fathers, brothers perhaps, that had served in the armed forces, especially in World War II. My father and my uncles all served in the Navy in World War II, and although they expressed pride in having served, they never really talked about what they did or what they saw. To that extent, they were typical of many people from that greatest generation. They dropped their lives, picked up and served and did what they were asked to do. When it was finished, they just wanted to get back to their normal life. My father, like so many other first generation Americans, felt that in a way he had, I think, become maybe more American by having served our country in the armed forces. And I think that's a fairly typical reaction by immigrants and also first generation Americans I've met who've served. During my time on the committee, I've had occasion to meet heroes of every kind. I call them heroes. They themselves would deny that they're heroes. I met people from a Medal of Honor recipient from Vietnam, a Pearl Harbor survivor, member of the Band of Brothers, member of bomber crew that was shot down over Germany and held as a prisoner of war for many, many months in terrible conditions. I met riflemen, people who liberated or helped liberate concentration camps and saw the horrors of World War II, and people from other conflicts as well, who described all their experiences and the sacrifices they made on behalf of our country. Two qualities stuck out in virtually everybody I talked with, and that was all the way from the highly decorated veterans to anyone who served, who did what they were asked to do in the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, or Coast Guard. Every single person contributed and worked as hard as they could to do whatever they were asked to do. But the two qualities were humility. Every single one of them I met denied that they were heroes. The heroes were the ones who didn't come back, is what I heard over and over again. But the other quality I saw that was expressed and exemplified was pride. Every veteran I spoke with was proud of having served, of having done their part, whatever they were asked to do, of being a part of something larger than themselves. And that has caused me, frankly, to become more humble and also very grateful for the people who have served our country in time of need, who have done what they were asked to do and asked nothing in return. I'm retired Judge Mike Foose from the 19th Judicial Circuit, United States Navy Reserve, retired. Thank you.
Retired Judge John Scully, a graduate of the Naval Academy and retired naval captain, highlights the importance of preserving the stories of the common soldier before they're lost.
But there's so many people like that that didn't ever want to talk about it for years, from Korea, Vietnam, Second World War. And a lot of these guys are starting to fade, passing away, even Vietnam. But we've interviewed even people after that. So we've covered people from 1937 up until the most recent wars. People were still on active duty just a year or two ago when we interviewed them. So we're covering a lot of the history of the United States military, but not from the perspective of the Pattons and the MacArthurs and the Eisenhowers, all those people. They've got books written about them. They have maybe even movies about them, but not the average Joe, not the average guy or gal, and the gals especially. The ladies, the ladies, were loved by so many of the individuals that were harmed and taken care of. Vietnam, Korea, Second World War, got these guys so that they could live. And those stories aren't told. If they are, they're bits and pieces and they're not retained. Part of the reason for this program is to get those stories they can talk about their friends. They can talk about the good times. They can talk about their unit that probably nothing was ever said about their each individual unit or each individual ship.
And Chris Tonto Peranto, former Army Ranger from the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, reminds us that these archived recollections serve as guide and inspiration for future generations.
So it's important for all us veterans to get with the Veterans History Project and get our stories down and archived for future generations so they know the truth of what took place and the courage and the sacrifice and the integrity and all the other values that we instill in the people that are going in the military and the veterans that we have to continue to live by, whatever values those are: ethics, integrity, personal courage, duty, honor, selfless service, sacrifice. Everything that we have, we can pass on to future generations by the stuff that we did while we were in. And in closing, I'd just like to say thank you to all your veterans out there. Thank you for your service. Thank you for those that are still serving. And when you get out and you become veterans again, thank you for everything that you gave for this country to protect this country's freedoms. Still the best country in the world, guys. So God bless y'all. Thank you again. And I hope to see you on the archive. Jumbo.
The Lake County Courthouse and community connection to those who serve is strong. Our own Judge Charles Smith's daughter, Megan, is a graduate of the Naval Academy and currently serves as a naval commander, while his son, Brian, is lieutenant junior grade in the Naval Reserves. Judge Veronica O'Malley's son, Ryan, is a senior firstie at West Point Military Academy. Judge Donna Jo Vorderstrass's son, Nathaniel Vorderstrass, is a naval cyber technology specialist, and her son-in-law is a naval psychiatrist treating military patients. And Judge Michael Bitar is a former corporal in the United States Marines. They're joined by so many other members of our local legal community and Lake County first responders who have served, are currently serving, and are preparing to serve in the future. Each and every member of the courthouse community today stands to salute our veterans. We are filled with pride and gratitude for your service to our country.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
This fucking courthouse
what so proud
throwing veterans in their debtor's prison every day. And the deputies over the Lake County Sheriff's Department, men and women I know, should be ashamed of themselves for still participating in that after they saw what they did to me there. These men and women knew me. I worked with these people. That's why I know how quickly he'll let you go up the river. Right? My friends over there at the Sheriff's Department, okay, ain't none of them came out in a public way, right, to support me. None of them. And if we're honest, they haven't. Does that mean I'm bashing them? No. I'm just saying, if you're my friend, why don't you come out and support me? Right? If you're my friend, why don't you actually come out and like verbally support me and say, you know what's happening to this guy and his kids is bullshit. Okay. And then publicly, I'm going to say something about it. Right? You can do that. You know, all of you are capable of that beyond just on here. I know that you are. Fuck, don't say it to me. Go say it to somebody else that might fucking do something about it. You know what I mean? For all of us, right? Not just my sake. We should be doing this for one another. Okay. We should be fighting for one another. We should be community. We should be taking care of one another, looking out for one another. And when the state's overstepping its bounds in any capacity, we should be involved in the political process more so to where we go, no, that's not okay. Nope, we're not allowing that. No. If your legislator signs this 5,000-page bill, okay, and they pour through it in a day or two, dude, no way. No way, folks, were they able to do that. I don't know what the status of it is. I need to follow up and check on it. These idiots celebrate veterans, my ass. It's insulting. What we should do, CJ, maybe, how about this? I think that Lake County's doing their city council meetings via Zoom. Why don't we zoom in? Why don't we zoom in the War is Hell podcast right into the Lake County council meeting? Right? Why don't we do that? Why don't we zoom in, schedule it? We'll put it on a calendar. We'll create a little event, and Cash Jackson and the War is Hell podcast And I say cast like it's plural. Cast. Right? Could be more people involved there. Why don't we all just zoom in? Okay. And we could all just take turns asking the Lake County City Council, when at what point in time does it become immoral, right, to withhold a child from a parent that's never been found to be unfit? These are the state requirements. They can't just arbitrarily do it. It's so funny how many people just think the state can just take your kids. They can just withhold them. They should be able to have that authority. VeteranLibertyNetwork.org. Tech, paypal.me/cash-action or /2018. He's giving me all kinds of weird sign language. I don't know what he's talking about. He knows I don't. Look. I speak two languages. Oh yeah. Select a membership. I need your assistance. We're growing a bigger platform. We're getting ready to go into a studio. We're going into a studio pretty soon. There's people coming into town to help me. In fact, some of them's already here. They're here to help me. We have a studio. We're going to begin broadcasting from a studio. We're going to build out an entire working man news network, a working man entertainment network, right? Built around working men and women, the difficulties we face, because the media is going to be right in our small town, right? It's going to be right in our small towns. We're going to rebuild ourselves, the working men and women, by networking together and talking about these issues together and not tiptoeing around what it is. Just say the shit for what it is and what the proper ramifications are for tyranny, right? The tree of liberty is going to get watered. It's on its way. The election tampering, this bullshit with sending all this money overseas, the American people have had it. Okay. I warned the FBI. I warned the Secret Service. Those guys heard me. I told it to their faces. I said, I'm telling you right now. There's so many people out there that have fed up with what is happening in this country and what's happening, especially with their kids. You got people working for the Department of Defense. You got people working for the Pentagon. You got FBI, CIA, NSA, Department of Intelligence, on and on and on and on. Spec war guys, and they're getting put through this. It's only a matter of time before one of them turns and goes, you know what? Fuck this country. I'm letting it all out. Yep. And that's from a veteran there, Dave Lacey. It's because he comes from the elite ruling class. We know this. Yeah, we realize, Amber. A lot of people don't. And we're in the working class and we get that. We do. We understand that better than anyone, right? All of me, CJ, right? All these guys coming in to help me. We all understand how difficult finances are. Many of us grew up in it, and then many of us got out of it, but were put back in it by the family court systems. Made our lives incredibly difficult financially. So we understand if you don't have the money. But here's the thing. Only thing that I ask is that if people can't help us through Patreon, can't help us financially, if you can't do that and you're genuine about that to yourself, because only you know, I don't know your finances and I'm not going to question you, right? But I know people as well. And I know people that will spend a shit ton of money on cigarettes. They'll spend a shit ton of money on coffee. They'll spend a shit ton of money on alcohol or any other number of vices. They'll spend a lot of money on that stuff, a lot. And they can't, the thing is they can't find the discipline within themselves to do that, right? They don't want to discipline themselves to go, you know what? Because a sacrifice, it hurts a little. That's why it's called a sacrifice, right? It hurts a little, right? whenever I was doing really well financially and I gave people money, and I was generous. I came from a very difficult background. And when I had money, I really enjoy helping people because I know what it's like to struggle. And I get a lot of jobs, or, I'd get a lot of satisfaction from my job and having the ability to help out people because I'd gotten myself to a really good place financially. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. And it brought me fulfillment to help people out. And I didn't mind doing it. I got used several times by people that just wanted to, they didn't really need it. Right. They just used me. And that happened a couple of times, but I learned my lessons with these people, and the next person would have a clean slate with me, because I never judge another person based upon another person's actions. I'm going to judge each person individually. And so I know that most American families could support more working men and women, and they don't. They don't. But they'll support these multi-billion-dollar corporations. Okay, we'll do that. We have to start taking a vested interest in those that are taking a vested interest in us, in our families, and our lives, because they are living the same exact fucked up experience as you. And we're going to do what we can to recognize you and thank you and be appreciative of the support that you give. Right? You're not purchasing me to voice your opinion for you. Right? That's not what this is. It's not like corporate sponsorship where the corporations own the voice of those on the network. I don't need your money. I don't have to have it. Right? I can pay my bills. But it's much more difficult to grow an actual network, to get equipment, to pay men and women that have also been harmed, that are investing their time into changing this, and they're investing thousands and thousands and thousands of hours a year. Arkansas Advocates for Parental Equality, right? And the men and women working over there, Patrick, Gina, those that come out and help what they're doing, amazing work. And they'll never get the amount of credit that they're really due for the amount of work that they're putting in and the sacrifices they're making to try and change this. They're putting in the fucking work, people. And when people are putting in the work, they deserve the recognition for putting in the work. Why don't we? It encourages more of it. Why do we frown upon that? Giving people attaboys and kudos and fucking, yeah, man, do it. Go, go, go. Cheering them on. Why? We've lost our way as America. We fell asleep at the wheel. Let's admit to the shit and let's fix it. Let us come together in a good way in this country. Those of you who have taken the golden pill and you're not following real far right, okay, and that Republican sector, and those who no longer can really support the Democratic Party, I'm not asking you to support any party at all. I'm not. I'm asking you to come to the middle of the road and meet with men and women of like-minded, and let us work together and network together to change the world for the better, and stop allowing ourselves to be divided based upon some arbitrary category that we've been lumped into. That's probably inaccurate anyway. So I'm just another working dude. And it's funny how many of us as working people don't want to support another working man and woman that's genuinely worked to further a better principled and interest in a cause that they love and they care about. But they'll run out and they'll buy a fucking super ass expensive pair of shoes, right? Or jacket or whatever else. And that's true. It's not shaming you to point it out. If you're ashamed of that, if you feel some sort of shame by that, or you feel like I'm shaming you for pointing this out, right? Maybe the problem's internal. Maybe you've got some guilt in there and you're going, yeah, he's right. I haven't contributed jack shit to this beyond my prayers and support on his Facebook Live. Is that fair to say? Yeah. I'm not getting wealthy doing this. If I did, that would be amazing. What if I did get wealthy? Would I be scorned? Because I worked my ass off tirelessly and endlessly to destroy the most destructive area of law in this nation, the one that traffics our kids. The criminal justice system is trafficking people into there that don't harm people, right? I would agree with that. They're doing that. They're taking predominantly poor people that never hurt anyone and driving up a rap sheet on them a mile long so they'll never be able to get out from underneath it. And they live in an endless, hopeless cycle of ever being able to live a normal life. They just fucking accept their fate, that my life's so fucked up now I can't even recover. And as a society, we don't let them recover. We don't let them move on. We don't let them grow up and recognize that most of these people were out there habitually fucking up because somebody in their life showed them some really bad shit, traumatized the hell out of them, taught them some piss poor coping techniques, and they became another product of the system. And you can say that I'm making excuses for these people. I'm not. I'm just trying to identify the problems and start cutting them off so we don't have more of them. I can hate the behavior, not hate the person. Some people I do genuinely hate. I hate them and I hate their behavior. Right? But I want to end it. Well, there's more that we can do. There's always more that we can do. Right? Just because that didn't work doesn't mean something else isn't going to work. But here's what's not going to work. Never investing in people that are fighting this fight. I'll say this every show. It doesn't have to be me. There's some other really good people who do great things. Their platforms, most of them, they are more politically correct. There's not many people out there. Larnell Palmer's one. He runs Fuck Child Support. He's from, he's a black guy from up in Chicago, really good dude. And he's just not politically correct about it. He's like us from a working class community. We're salty. We say things like we see them. We weren't raised up, many of us, in a church. And we just come from a rougher background. We're the people that the Christians send out to save. You see what I'm saying? Right? That's my family. That's my background. It's my friends. That's my community. We're the people that the churches are sending out to save. I'm that guy. They're trying to save me. All the while, we want to save you. How are you going to save me when you're fucking robbing me and my kids, man? Any progress I had made in the church has all been flushed down the drain. It's all been flushed down the drain. All the work. Yeah, it has been. I don't have any faith in the church. I don't have any faith in them at all. Because they're fine. They're fine being complicit in what's happened to me and my kids, getting $1,200 a month from my ex-wife while watching me be bankrupted and be thrown off in a fucking jail. And the church never came out one time and said anything. Never. And I never attacked them really publicly for it either. Anyways, it's going to get real interesting with this legislation. What's coming on January 6th? There's a big protest. There's a big march going down out in DC. We might be present for that. We might be headed out that way. Man, I know Frank told me that I needed to do something on this show, and I've forgotten what it was. Frank, if you're out there listening, I hope you call me because I forgot, man. I know you told me something, and I've just, bro, sorry, man. I don't hate the church. So I want to be clear. I don't hate the church. There's plenty of great people in the church doing great things, and they're just very naive as to what's happening in this world. And it's really hard to shake people out of that, just go along to get along mindset. It's very hard to get them out of that. I'm encouraging people, if you're tired of this shit, and you want to be more of a community, right? Contact me. Reach out to me. Let's talk. And maybe there's a home for you down here near where I'm at, because friends and family are relocating down here. People that I have known, and people that I'm, getting to know better, that are tired of this shit. We're going to move down. We're all going to kind of, build a community around a community. It's where I live is wonderful. Douchebags are not welcome, right? If you're going to come here and terrorize anybody, I will personally escort your ass to the county line and boot you over it, right? You're not going to come into my community and mess with it. I love it. I love the people here. They're really good people, and they've treated me and my family really well. And I've got some really good friends here that I consider family that I've known for over 20 years. And I'm not going to let anybody come in and fuck with that. I don't care who you are. You're not going to come in here and mess with my community at all. If I see anything like that, yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be pretty. I love the people here, and I don't want to see them harmed in any way. Put them over the screen. I think I did that. All right. Talking about escorts. What are we talking about? I'm not talking about escorts. Are you an escort, Jay Bright? Well, we're not going to, there's no reason to protest here. Be allowed to raise hell. Well, we're going to raise hell. I raise hell here at my house. I'm going to install, my buddy Mr. X is going to help me install a zip line over here so I can zip line out of my second story window into my pond. That shit's happening. And you know who's not invited? Douchebags. You're not invited. If you're just a good dude, right, and you don't mind my salty talk, you can come hang out. We're not going to terrorize my neighbors, right? I got to respect them, but I'm pretty certain they're not going to mind my antics down here, because I'm not going to bother them. And if they asked me to turn it down, I would turn it down, because I love my neighbors and I respect them. But I'll let them know. I'll give them common courtesy. Let them know, hey, we're getting ready to friggin'. It's going down on the farm. Okay, it's not a huge farm. I got a few chickens and a few ducks, but it's growing. It'll be a farm one day. Cora, Eva, I'm sorry you missed the whole thing. It's been a fun show, actually. We ranted and raved for a little while. I think it was quite productive. Yep. And down here where I'm at, look, it's beautiful. It's cheap. Cost of living is far lower. Everybody has guns. Everybody's got guns. Everybody. The pastors have guns. The priests have guns. The grandmas have guns. Everybody has guns. One reason why you don't have a lot of break-ins around here, because you will get your face sawed off with a sawed-off shotgun. Yeah, I love my Canadian friends too. Thanks for joining us tonight, Michelle. Yeah. I like being international. What's that? Who sings that song? Internationally Known? It's like it's part of a line in a rap song or something. I think it's Will Smith. Anyways, that's kind of cool. The beauty of technology. But do the store have ammo nowadays? I don't know. If you're getting ammo now, you done fucked up. Oop, that wasn't the comment I was trying to do. Yeah. If you're trying to get ammo now, you are in trouble, folks. It sucks to be you. Hey, Clayton asked me. That's a good question. You got that 7.3 power stroke? I don't know. Ask Marina. Yeah, what? Did I just say that? I'm going to be in trouble. That one's going to get me in the doghouse. I'm going to the doghouse. You shouldn't ask me that question, Clayton. 7.3 power stroke. Yeah, that's what I call it. Fully loaded F-350. Crew cab edition. 4-wheel drive. We go off-road, baby. Woo! It's getting bad around here. I think the conversation... I think we're almost done with this broadcast. We're coming to a close. It's 21:52 Central Standard Time on the War Cell podcast with your host, Cash Jackson, and my great friend, CJ fucking Abernathy. If you don't like it, We don't care. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. That's it. Hey, man, I appreciate all my Patreon members, those of you that have signed up. I have not been able to go live in there yet. It's because of my shitty internet service, I think, right? I'm going to be able to. I'm going to get it resolved, but I think it's not going to get resolved till I go into town. We're going to open up the studio. We're going to have a studio, and this Salty Show will be coming to you live from a downtown location, and there's no telling what you might see, honestly. I think that the show is going to get about 10,000 fold better because I'm not going to be restricted any longer to my office. Then I'm going to have a broadcast studio with a door leading right out into Main Street, right across from a, well, it's one of my favorite locations. Oh, I spent a lot of time there. Gave them a lot of money. Not this one, but another one. Oh, yeah. They tune in. They love me. I'm the sheriff's department in Lake County. They tune in. Those guys love me. It's a weird relationship because I know a bunch of those guys. They're like, yeah, I remember this guy. He worked on a lot of details. He was really nice. I hate to see what's happened to him. But they won't say shit about it. And that really sucks for their character, not mine. CJ got all hot and bothered last night. We don't have any hot chicks, did we? Are we going to do like a Howard Stern show? We're going to have hot chicks on here? I'm kind of okay with that. It is the Veteran Liberty Network. I'm pretty certain we should do a live broadcast from a strip club. I think I'm going to do this. It's going to piss off a lot of people. But I'm going to be honest with you. You're kidding yourselves if you don't think that your service member, your young little Johnny Rotten Crotch, 18, 19 years old, that he's not down there at the dollhouse in Orlando, or I'm sorry, Daytona, getting his crotch ground off by some 21-year-old co-ed down there in a strip club, right? And she's working on her fucking 10th PhD. Don't think that ain't happening. So why even kid yourself? Why do you want to pretend? I don't know. You know what, man? Now I hear women complain frequently that there's no clubs like that for them. And I think that's a legitimate free market issue, right? That I could solve. I mean, I'm thinking about like Uber mail stripping. I'm going to put a pole in the back of my F-150 and I'm going to drive up into fucking, old single women's driveways. And I'm going to do a stripper dance in the bed of my F-150 for side cash. Yep. Why not? It's a hard world. It's a hard world out there, A man's got to do what a man's got to do, right? You got to build patrons where you can build patrons. And if it happens to be your Aunt June, right? Your 75-year-old Aunt June, right? And you roll up to me on a stripper pole in your Aunt June's front yard for Thanksgiving, not my problem, bro. Not my problem. Right? You could have supported me on Patreon, but no. Now I got to get Aunt June. And you know what? I'm going to make a lot more money off Aunt June than I would you anyway. You could have got away with $3, $9, or $25. But you know what? No, fuck it. You don't even have an opportunity. Just take it down. Right? Jesus. Did you have to do that with the coming soon? Was that necessary? Was that actually necessary? You had to do that to that. Like I've had some modicum of decency about myself for most of this broadcast, and you just okay. It's a good thing that it's 21:56, and yeah, maybe we should do the weather, dude. I got chemtrailed like a son of a bitch today. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, and this was some weirdo stuff going down. My brother and I step off onto my back porch back there this morning to have coffee, and we're having coffee on my back porch. Beautiful back porch. Looks south over the mountain range. Got a great view. Clear blue skies this morning. Completely clear. Whew. It's clear. Oh, CJ abandoned ship. He had to go. Jesus Christ. I've got the helm. Clear blue sky. Nobody there. No planes. No helicopters. No clouds. Nothing. Just beautiful blue sky. And then in rolls an entire armada of planes that starts flying by. Like, now I sit out on this porch every morning and have coffee. Even when it's pretty damn cold, I'm out there drinking my coffee because I want to be outside drinking my coffee, looking at the pond in the mountains. And I have never, and I've been here for 2 years, I have never seen the amount of planes that were passing overhead. I couldn't believe it. But then within 10 or 15 minutes of these bastards passing through, all of their fucking trails just spread out over the entire region here. As far as you could see, those trails that began, itty bitty little trails. And I don't know anything about these trails, but it's awfully fucking weird. Okay, we got a caller. Did you screen this caller? Do you know who this caller is? This could be dangerous. You could be allowing in somebody that could be dangerous for this show. Do you know that? Do a little bit of like executive producer screenings. Just a little. I mean, I could field some crazy shit. I can handle myself pretty well, I think. But you never know what we're going to get. I see you talking, but I can't hear a lick of what you're saying. Hey, man. Okay, we didn't get the caller on the line. Well, that's it. We're going to close it at 2200. We're going to sign off. I got to do something else. I don't know why. Why do you call my phone? Call this. Look, it's right here. You could just call me. I don't know what that is. What was that? Did you flash some credit cards at me? Oh, you're on speaker. Hello? Dude. These aren't my tech issues. I'm telling you, it's the fucking feds sitting over here with their drones and shit. I'm telling you, man. Come over here and sit on my roof. We'll smoke a bowl on my roof and you can sit. We'll sit out here and I'll point them out to you. You think I'm kidding? I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. All right, man. I don't know what's happening. All I can say is the feds can suck it. They've had their chance. So we just we have to build our own thing. We got to do our own thing and let that thing do what a thing does. You're going to do the thinkity thing. Play some music or something. Give me some. I didn't screen the caller. I'm trying to read his lips. If I could ad-lib this, I think he's saying how amazing I am. I think he just said I'm number one. This is not part of the show, by the way. Like, yeah, this is not part of the show. CJ's having technical difficulties. I'm telling you. They're trying to cut out. Yeah, he just waved off. They're trying to cut out, like, my major support system there. I need that guy. They know I need that guy. So they're going to fuck with his stuff. I tell people this. If you associate with me, right, I guarantee you, spend 2 hours with me on the phone. Spend 2 hours with me on the phone and then watch your phone go to shit. Watch. If we spend that long on the phone together, there's enough interest there. The feds get an interest, and I'm telling you, I believe that they are. They got every reason to. I've told these freaking people. Bunch of numbskulls. And they don't listen to me. They're like, Cash Jackson's just a pissed off dad, doesn't want to pay child support. Okay, yeah, you're right. That's it. Fuck it. You're right. I don't want to pay child support. That's all this is. You got me. I'm busted. Oh, you guys are so smart. You went to Harvard. Fucking rocket scientists, these people. Anyways, give me a brand. CJ's doing like this number. He's like, Jesus Christ, this guy. I can't do this. I see the look on his face. I'm a lot to take. Ask any woman I ever slept with, right? I am a lot to take. They complained often and fucking, but for whatever reason, they kept coming back. I don't know why. Don't blame that on me. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 8th grade, right? I got this dirty nickname of Anaconda Owl. First time we were in gym class, and, we had to go to these showers. It was the most weirdest, most awkward thing. I'm like, I can't do this. And these kids were like embarrassed. I'm like, wow. Like I felt bad for them. I'm like, wow, you must have really low self-esteem, dude. That sucks. Like that's really bad. Your poor genetic line is fucking really awful. I think there's a correlation to willingness to actually do something with your life and your penis size. I do. And I don't have a very big penis at all, which should tell you everything you need to know about these dudes. Like it was like, Jesus, dude, like that's a condition of some kind. It's not right. I don't know. Talk to the doc or your veterinarian. I don't know what to tell you. Not normal. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I got to do an outro. I think I've thoroughly, you know what? This is Rebellion Radio, right? I'm doing it my way. War is hell. This is the Veteran Liberty Network. We're doing it my way. If you don't like it, well, you're probably not a veteran and this wouldn't work for you anyway. But some of you are intrigued enough by my salty language and what we do and what we discuss to stick around. And some of you are even better and you're willing to sacrifice a pack of cigarettes to be a $3 Patreon member. And I appreciate you taking care of your health, right? To help me fucking talk a lot more. It's saving your lungs, right? You're saving your lungs. I'm helping you save your lungs by not buying that one pack of Marlboros. Which I don't even know if $3. I don't even think $3 wouldn't do it, would it?
About 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
You can only get a half a pack of cigarettes for a fucking Patreon. I'm only worth half a pack of cigarettes. That's a blow to the self-esteem, man. Let's get rid of the $3 Patreon. That just kind of hurts me. All right. You had a chance to be a $3 Patreon. You know what? Now fuck you if you're not going to join. Just get rid of that one. At least $5. I'm worth at least a fucking, a high $5. The shit I say about judges and attorneys, it's funny. You want to say it out loud. And you get to laugh when I do it. In fact, you know what? If you're a Patreon member, I'll insult your judge publicly just for you. How about that? Right? You want me to insult your judge or your attorney or even your ex? I'll insult them publicly on this platform just for you. But I'm not going to do it unless you pay me to do it. Yeah, that's the trade-off. It's a free market, right? I got a larger platform. It'll probably go viral. We can cut the clip. I'll throw it on my TikTok. Cash Jackson insulting your judge. I'll do it for you. I don't care. I hate your judge. I hate your judge more than you hate your judge because I know more about your judge and his dirty, deceptive practices than what you do, right? I actually hate him more than you do. So you'd be doing me a favor, right? But even still, I got to put money in my fucking F-150 that's like rattling down the road with 200,000 miles. It's like going down the road. I don't have the money to fix it. I don't. If I get enough Patreon money, maybe I could fix it. If not, well, it's probably not going to get fixed. Because I got more important things to do. I got a media network that I'm going to build with or without your support. It's going to happen either way. But with your support, we'll be able to really grow this broadcast. We'll be able to produce an amazing product for you. And the way we insult your judges and government behavior and practices is going to exponentially get better. Right? We're going to have like 40-foot signs of insults ready for you. Right? And we're going to launch that shit up in mainstream America. Like, from the working class. Let's get it. Outro. We're out of here. Boom. Get me out this network. Is it going to play? And go.